कृष्ण। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजना यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरे। जय राधे श्याम ललिता विशाखा जय राधे श्याम। जय कृष्ण बलराम जय वृंदावन धाम। जय गौरानिताई जय गौरानिताई। जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय वैष्णुपाद परमहंस आचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद्भवे चरणार्य भक्तिदान स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की नित्य लीला वैष्णव विष्णुपाद परमहंस आचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद्भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपिका श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की संवेद गौर भक्तवृंद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की निताई गौर हरि प्रेमानंद। All glories to the simple devotees, all glories to the simple devotees, all glories to the simple devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चादेशतारिणे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम कैंटो 10 चैप्टर 63 entitled Lord Krishna fights with Banasur, text 38। त्वम एक आद्य पुरुषो अद्वितीय तुर्य स्वदृक् हेतुरहेतुरीश प्रत्ययस्य यथापि यथा विकारम् स्वमायया सर्वगुण प्रसिद्धै त्वम् एक आद्य पुरुषो अद्वितीय तुर्यः स्वदृक् हेतुरहेतुरीश प्रतीयसेथापि यथा विकारम् स्वमायया सर्वगुणप्रसिद्धये त्वम् एक आद्या पुरुषो द्वितीयः तुर्या स्वदृग्धेतुरहेतुरीश प्रतीयसेथापि यथा विकारम् स्वमायया सर्वगुणप्रसिद्धये तम एक आद्या पुरुषो द्वितीयः तुर्या स्वदृग्धेतुरहेतुरीश प्रतीयसेथापि यथा विकारम् स्वमायया सर्वगुणप्रसिद्धये त्वम् एक आद्या पुरुषो द्वितीयः तुर्या स्वदृग्धेतुरहेतुरीश प्रतीयसेथापि यथा विकारम् स्वमायया सर्वगुणप्रसिद्धये त्वम् एक आद्या पुरुषो द्वितीयः तुर्या स्वदृग्धेतुरहेतुरीश प्रतीयसेथापि यथा विकारम् स्वमायया सर्वगुणप्रसिद्धये त्वमेक आद्या पुरुषो द्वितीयः तुर्या स्वदृग्धेतुरहेतुरीश प्रतीयसेथापि यथा विकारम् स्वमायया सर्वगुणप्रसिद्धये लेडीज त्वम् एक आद्या पुरुषो द्वितीयः तुर्या स्वदृग्धेतुरहेतुरीश प्रतीयसेथापि यथा विकारम् स्वमायया सर्वगुणप्रसिद्धये त्वमेक आद्या पुरुषो द्वितीयः तुर्या स्वदृग्धेतुरहेतुरीश प्रतीयसेथापि यथा विकारम् स्वमायया सर्वगुणप्रसिद्धये वर्ड मीनिंग्स ट्रांसलेशन पर्पट वर्ड मीनिंग्स काइंडली रिपीट त्वं यू एकः वन आद्यः ओरिजिनल पुरुषः सुप्रीम पर्सन अद्वितीयः विदाउट अ सेकेंड तुर्यः ट्रांसेंडेंटल सर्वदृक् सेल्फ मैनिफेस्टिंग हेतु द कॉज अहेतु हैविंग नो कॉज ईशः द सुप्रीम कंट्रोलर प्रतीयसे यू आर परसीव्ड अथापि नॉनदलेस यथा अकॉर्डिंग टू विकारम वेरियस ट्रांसफॉर्मेशंस स्व बाय ओन मायया illusory potency, sarva of all, guna material qualities, prasidhai for the complete manifestation. Translation, please repeat. You are the original person, one without a second, transcendental and self-manifesting. Uncaused, you are the cause of all, and you are the ultimate controller. You are nonetheless perceived in terms of the transformations of matter affected by your illusory energy. Transformations you sanction so that the various material qualities can fully manifest. Purport. The Acharyas comment as follows in this verse. Srila Sridhar Swami explains that the term Adya Purusha, the original Purush, indicates that Lord Krishna himself expands himself as Mahavishnu, the first of the three Purushas who take charge of cosmic manifestation. The Lord is Eka Aditya, one without a second, because there is no one equal to the Lord or different from him. No one is completely equal to the Supreme Godhead. And yet because all the living beings are expansions of the potency of Godhead, no one is qualitatively different from him. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu nicely explained this inconceivable situation by stating that the Absolute Truth and the living beings are qualitatively one but quantitatively different. The Absolute possesses infinite spiritual consciousness, whereas the living beings possesses infinitesimal consciousness which is subject to being covered by illusion. Srila Jiva Goswami, commenting on the term Adya Purusha, quotes from Sattva Tantra Vishnustu Trini Rupani. There are three forms of Vishnu for cosmic manifestation, etc. Srila Jiva Goswami also quotes a statement of the Lord's from Shruti, Purvam evaham ihasam. In the beginning, I alone existed in this world. This statement describes the form of the Lord called the Purush Avatara, who exists before the cosmic manifestation. Srila Jiva Goswami also quotes the following Shruti mantra, Tat Purushasya Purushatvam, which means such constitutes the Lord's status as Purusha. Actually, Lord Krishna is the essence of the Purush incarnation because he is Turiya, as described in the present verse. Jiva Goswami explained the terms Turiya, literally the fourth, by quoting Srila Sridhar Swami's commentary to the Bhagavatam verse 11, 15, 16. Virat Hirnya Garbhasya Karanam Cheti Upadhaya Ishasya Tatribhihinam Turiyam Tadvidu Buddha. The Lord's universal form, his Hiranyagarbha form, and the primal casual manifestation of material nature are all relative conceptions. But because the Lord himself is not covered by these three, intelligent authorities call him the fourth. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, the word Turiya indicates that the Lord is the fourth member of the quadruple expansion of Godhead called the Chaturvyuha. In other words, Lord Krishna is Vasudev. Lord Krishna is Swadrik, that is, he alone can perceive himself perfectly. Because he is infinite spiritual existence, infinitely pure, he is Hetu, the cause of everything, and yet he is a Hetu without cause. Therefore, he is Isha, the supreme controller. The last two lines of this verse are of specific philosophical significance. Why? Why is the Lord perceived differently by different persons, although he is one? A partial explanation is given here. By the agency of Maya, the Lord's external potency, material nature, is in a constant state of transformation, vikara. In one sense, then material nature is unreal, asat. But because God is the supreme reality, and because He is present within all things, and all things are His potency, material objects and energies possesses a degree of reality. Therefore, some people sees one aspect of material energy and think this is reality, while other people see a different aspect of material energy and think no, this is reality. Being conditioned souls, we are covered by different configurations of material nature, and thus we describe the Supreme Truth or the Supreme Lord in terms of our corrupted vision. Yet even the covering qualities of material nature, such as our conditioned intelligence, mind and senses, are real, being the potency of the Supreme Lord. And therefore, through all things we can perceive, in a more or less subjective way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is why the present verse states, Pratiyase, you are perceived. Furthermore, without the manifestation of material nature's covering qualities, the creation could not fulfill its purpose, namely, to allow the conditioned souls to make their best attempt to enjoy without God, so that they will finally understand the futility of such an illusory notion. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Hare Krishna. First of all, I'll offer my obeisances to all the Vaishnavas, especially the senior Vaishnavas. You gave me opportunity to speak something from Srimad Bhagavatam, so you give me empowerment also, so that I can speak something. You speak from my mouth, then it will be very nice. So here we are hearing the pastime of Lord Krishna fight with Banasura. Last time I was speaking here about Bhaumasura. I have mentioned one statement about Banasura also. In this chapter, we understand one supreme nature of the Supreme Lord, that He makes His devotee more than Himself. But because His devotee is more than Himself, He makes him. Like Lord Shiva has become more than Lord Krishna. How? Lord Krishna is liked by Dhir Purusha. Who likes Lord Krishna? Only Dhir Purush like Lord Krishna. But Lord Shiva is liked by Dhira and Adhira both. They both like Lord Shiva. But to love Lord Krishna, one must be Dhir. Only Dhir Purushas can like Lord Krishna. But Krishna made Lord Shiva more than Himself. Dhir also like Him, Adhir also like Him. Both like Him. But that does not make really Lord Shiva greater than Lord Krishna. Like in this fight, Lord Shiva is fighting with Lord Krishna, and then Shiva has to come to Krishna to beg for forgiveness for fighting. He is praying to Krishna. So it is the Supreme Lord who makes his devotee more than himself. But at the same time, the devotee remains a devotee and Lord remains a Lord, because He has made. Like if somebody is playing with his child, his small baby somebody have, and he take in his arms, he take the baby and push him upwards. So in one sense, the baby is greater than the father. Right now, the baby is higher than the father. But who has made him higher? The father. Father will remain father and son will remain son. So in a similar way, the Lord makes his devotee greater than himself. And one nature we can understand from this, the wives of Nag, Kaliya, Nag Patnis, they speak in their stuti that Sutta Ripunam Apitulya Darshanam. Lord Krishna sees his enemy and his son with an equal vision. So we see that one meaning of this verse becomes that he sees his enemy just like his own son. When he punishes his enemy, it's not that Krishna is doing envy with his enemy. He wants to deliver him. He wants to do good to him. Just like a father scolds his son, sometimes beats him for his own good. So, in the same way, Krishna sees his enemy just like his own son, but he is ignorant. So, he beats him, punishes him, sometimes kills him, and delivers him. One meaning of this verse is also that Krishna is equal to his own son and son of his enemy. Like Krishna punishes his son, he killed Narkasura, his own son. but he protected the son of his enemy. His enemy Hiranyakashipu, his son Prahlad. He is protecting the son of his enemy and he is punishing his own son. So if somebody is a devotee, he is rewarded. If somebody is not a devotee, he is punished. Krishna is equal to both of them. But in this chapter, one more nature of the Supreme Lord comes in front of us. That although Krishna is equal, he will punish the son of his own son. He can protect the son of his enemy, but he gives special favor to those who are related to his devotees. The son of his devotee is being taken care of here. Krishna killed Narakasur, his own son, but he did not kill Banasur because Banasur is son of Bali Maharaj. He comes in the lineage of Prahlad Maharaj. And because the Lord have given promise to Prahlad that I will not kill anybody, I will punish, that we need to discuss later on. That Krishna, it's like we sing, every day we sing, Braj Jana Ranjan. We always speak Braj Jan, Bhakt Jan. So what does Bhakt Jan or Braj Jan means? It means somebody who is related to the devotee. He is not a devotee, but he is related to the devotee. Krishna gives mercy to such person also. When Lord Krishna came to Bhishma Pitama, when he was lying on the bed of arrows, Bhishma Pitama said that Yasya Anubhavam, he have come according to his Anubhavam. Anubhavam means that he reciprocates according to the bhav of his devotees. So Bhishma Pitama is saying that today Krishna has come. When I am going to give up my life, I am going to give up my body, Krishna has come of his own accord, but Krishna have come here not because of my devotion. Krishna has come because I am related to Yudhishthir and Yudhishthir is my devotee. So Krishna gives more mercy to, Krishna gives mercy to whom? To devotee also and to family of devotee also. When Lord Nrsimhadev killed Hiranyakashipu, and he asked Prahlad Maharaj, asked me for some boon. So Prahlad Maharaj said, I am not a businessman, that I was doing your bhajan, I was doing your service for some business. That is not case. I was doing selfless service. So Lord Nrsimhadev was not fully satisfied. He wanted to give something. I want to give something. So Prahlad Maharaj saw that he is not satisfied. He said, okay, give me something. Give me selflessness. I do not desire any material thing and only desire to serve your lotus feet. So Lord Nrsimhadev gave him that boon, but still he was not fully satisfied. So Prahlad Maharaj asked him one thing. He said that my father, because I am your devotee, he offended you very much, and because I am your devotee, he offended me also. You forgive him for all his offenses. So Lord Nrsimhadev said that Tri Saptabhi Pita Puta Pitri Bhi Sahatenagha. My dear Prahlad, in a family where a devotee like you are born, 21 generations are delivered. Tri Saptabhi Pita Putaha. Tri Saptabhi means 21. 21 family generations are purified. Pitri Bhi Sahatenagha. Oh sinless, in a family where a son, a devotee like you are born, the 21 generations are immediately purified. So Lord gave a promise to Prahlad Maharaj that in your family lineage, I will never kill anybody. So he did not kill Banasur, but he punished Banasur. That we can understand that is true, that family members of devotees will get benefit because their family member is a devotee. Or those born in Braja, they are Braja Jana, but not devotee. But to make their situation normal, Krishna can punish them very severely also. But yes, Krishna does not kill those who are related to his devotees. This we can understand from this pastime. So here we see that when Banasur and Lord Krishna was fighting, Krishna uses his Sudarshan Chakra and cut off all the arms of Banasur, only 4 were remaining. Actually, Banasur was having this pride that Krishna, you are Narayan, okay, you are Narayan, you have 4 arms. I have 1000 arms. So Krishna cut them all. He cut 996 and left 4. Okay, you and me, Okay, four arms. Krishna cut all his arms with his Sudarshan Chakra, and now Lord Shiva thought that he is cutting his arm, he is using Sudarshan. Now when he is using his Sudarshan, he will kill Banasur also. So Lord Shiva, just to protect his devotee, came there and he is praying to Lord Krishna, and this is the prayer which Lord Shiva is doing, which we are hearing today. He is saying, Tvam ek adya purusho ditiyas turiya swadik hetura heturishah prati se athapi yatha vikaram swamaya sar guna prasidhyaye. It's a philosophical shloka. Lord Shiva is praising Lord Krishna. See, Acharyas are putting up one question, that just now Lord Shiva was fighting with Lord Krishna. Now he is coming to him and praying. He is glorifying Krishna. Is he not feeling ashamed? Just now he was fighting with Krishna, and now he is coming and praying to Krishna, glorifying Krishna. Does he not feel ashamed? So the reason is that because Lord Shiva knows completely about Lord Krishna, he knows everything about Krishna, he never feels ashamed when he is defeated by Krishna. He feels pride. When Krishna became Mohini Murti and Lord Shiva wanted to take darshan of Mohini, he saw Mohini, he ran behind Mohini, and so much allured by Rohini that his semen fall down. And after that Lord Shiva realized his position, but he was not ashamed. Generally, one must feel guilty, but Lord Shiva did not feel guilty. He have burned Kamadev. He is so powerful. We all are always burned by Kamadev, and he have burned Kamadev. He is so powerful. And same Lord Shiva has now been today illusioned by Mohini Murti. But he feel ashamed? He feel bad? No. What was he feeling? Oh, my Lord is so great that he even illusioned me. Lord Shiva was feeling pride that although he has burned Cupid, he has burned Kamdev, he is so powerful, but today he has been illusioned, and when Mohini was making Lord Shiva run behind him, run behind her, she made him run everywhere, even between saints, between everybody, just to show that see, this is Lord Shiva. So Shiva has been embarrassed very much by Mohini Murti, but he did not feel embarrassed. He did not feel ashamed. He felt proud. Oh, my Lord is so great that he even illusioned me, Lord Shiva also. He felt very nice. And in a similar way, today Lord Shiva is defeated by Krishna. Banasur is defeated by Krishna, but Lord Shiva is feeling proud to be defeated by the Supreme Lord. So he is saying, if Krishna says that some people are my vibhutis, some are my gunavatar, you are non-different from me. So Lord Shiva is refuting this point. He is saying, Tvam ekaha, you are one single person. You are different from all others. You are ekaha purushaha, adi purushaha. There is difference between Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna, and there is no difference between Krishna and Lord Shiva. When Banasur and Lord Krishna was fighting, the earth was feeling so much pressure, she was feeling so much terrified that she went to Lord Brahma. She went to Lord Brahma and asked him that please stop Lord Shiva. Please stop him fighting with Krishna. I cannot bear this heaviness of this fight. So Lord Brahma went there and he stopped Lord Shiva. So Brahma told Lord Shiva that in a dream, Lord Brahma saw Lord Shiva in a form of Harihar, which we see in Navadip, Madhyadeep, we see that there is a deity of Hari and Har, half Har and half Hari. So Brahma ji saw this in his dream when Krishna was fighting with Banasur, that there is oneness between Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna. So he see Hari and Har. But when Lord Shiva came to pray to Krishna, he clarifies, no, you are ekaha, you are separate from me. You are the supreme. You are different. That's why he is using a word turiya. Turiya means what? Turiya means the fourth. Or somebody who is above three. Somebody who is above the three gunas is called turiya. Who is above the three ashrama, brahmachari, grihast, vanprasth. The turiya ashram is sannyas ashram. Who is above satogun, rajogun and tamogun, shuddha sattva, that is turiya, the fourth. So the fourth here means above the three, Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh. He is above three. He is Adi Purusha, or he is above three. In the purport it's written, above three means what? Above the three Vishnu. Karna Dakshai, Garbho Dakshai, Shiro Dakshai. The source of all three Vishnus are whom? Lord Krishna. So he is Adi Purusha, he is Turiya, and he is Ekaha. Eka means he is one piece. We are all three piece. You know, we are all two piece, three piece. Two piece in one sense, like we have soul different and body two piece, and we have body also. We have two piece, one subtle body, one gross body. In previous time, they used to come clothings three piece, coat, jacket, shirt, three piece. So we are three piece. We are made of three piece. Soul are different and two piece body, three piece, and Krishna is one piece. And Advitya means there is no second person like Krishna. Whenever some devotee who wants Lord as his son, so it's very difficult to tell the Supreme Lord, become my son. Very difficult. He is the Supreme Lord. How do we say, you come as my son? Very difficult. So whenever Krishna comes to such people, such devotees, they say, I want a son like you. So actually what they have in their heart, they want son, Krishna as their son. But what will they pray? I want son like you. And Lord always have this problem that he don't have any duplicate. Even if he wants to produce exactly someone like him, he is just like himself. There is nobody else who can become the Supreme Lord. Rukmani Devi, she writes in her letter, Kvata Mukund Mahati Kul Shila Rupa Vidya Abhiratma Tulyam. Atma Tulyam means you are equal to yourself. Whatever your qualities is, if Krishna says, Rukmani, you are so shameless, you are writing me this letter, love letter, is it good for some princess to write a love letter to some stranger? So Rukmani Devi is replying Krishna's point that no, there is no mistake on my part. All mistake is your qualities are such that Abhiratma Tulyam, you cannot be compared with somebody else. If somebody compares Krishna, that Krishna is like so and so person, then that comparison is not valid comparison. Abhiratma Tulyam. If we say Krishna is like Krishna, Krishna is like Krishna. You cannot say Krishna is like so and so. One poet, Vidyapati, Mahaprabhu used to hear songs from Vidyapati. He writes in one of his songs, Madhav kat tore karava badhai. Oh Madhav, how do I glorify you? If I give you some, if I equate you with some other thing, like if I say that the Supreme Lord's lotus feet are like lotus, then lotus will feel shy. If I say that Krishna sings like koyal, what do we say in English? Then crow is kawa. No, kawa nahi, koyal. Huh? कोयल को इंग्लिश में क्या बोलेंगे? Cuckoo. So if somebody says that you sing like cuckoo, then cuckoo will feel shame and she will hide herself somewhere. Krishna cannot be compared with anybody else. Krishna is just like Krishna. When Nand Maharaj, he was getting so much old, he wanted a son. Everybody knows he was not having a son, he was growing old and old. So they did a Pushti Yagya, a Yagya from which they will get a son. So all the preparations were made. The Brahmanas came. They were doing the yagya. They prepared everything. Yashoda Rani was there and Nand Maharaj was not there. Nand Maharaj was crying inside his room. He was very upset. So Yashoda Rani went inside the room, saw Nand, why are you so upset? You wanted a child, you wanted a son, and we are doing a yagya to get a son. And you should be there in the yagya. Why are you here? So Nand Maharaj is saying that the son, the quality of son which I want, the yagya cannot produce. This is a karma. A son which I want, from karma whatever we will get, this yagya whatever we will get a temporary son. And I want a permanent son. I want an eternal son. I don't want a temporary. And I have seen in my dream a son who will become my son, but this yagya don't have the power to give it. Only bhakti can give him. He is so beautiful, like a dark rainy cloud. His eyes are so stretched till his ears. And his eternal personality. This yajna cannot give me that kind of son. So Nand Maharaj was very upset. And then Nand Maharaj asked Yashoda, did you also see such a dream? And Yashoda said, I also see such a dream. Then they did not do their Pushti yajna. They know that this yajna cannot produce because the Lord is Advitiya. Nobody is like the Lord. Actually, Shukdev Goswami also describes when Parikshit Maharaj asked that how Yashoda and Nand Maharaj got so much fortune that Lord Krishna became their son. Krishna drank milk of Yashoda so many times. Yashoda is playing with Krishna in her lap so many times. So he externally told that they were Drona and Dhara. They did some tapasya. Brahma gave Vardhan, and they became Yashoda and Nand, and Krishna became their son. But Parikshit Maharaj was not satisfied. He was thinking that somebody with what Yashoda got, Brahma did not have. What Brahma don't have, can he give to Yashoda? If I have 100 rupees, I can give 100 rupees, I can give 95 rupees, I can give 90 rupees. I have 100 rupees, can I give 1000 rupees to somebody? What Brahma don't have, he can give to Yashoda. So he himself is, later he have to speak, and Nayam Virincho na Shiva na Shirapyang Sanshraya. What Brahma don't have, what mercy Lord Shiva did not have, what mercy even Lakshmi did not have, Prasada Lebhire Gopi. Yashoda, Gopika Shri Yashoda got that mercy from Krishna, but it was not a result of tapasya. It was not that Drona and Dhara became Yashoda and Nand. Yashoda and Nanda are eternal father of Krishna. And Drona and Dhara took shelter of the body of Nanda and Yashoda. They also came in that body. Like Mahaprabhu, so many Parshad, they come two people in one body. Like Haridas Thakur, two people, one body. So many Parshad. His Holiness Gaur Krishna Das Goswami Maharaj used to give an example of RAC in train. We buy a ticket and it comes RAC, reservation against confirmation, right? So in cancellation, okay. So in RAC, you have to share. One seat, two people, they have to share. So in so many times Mahaprabhu Parshad, there were so many Parshads who want to come in the Leela of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How do they come? So sometimes in one body, two Parshad used to come. So in the same way, eternal father, mother, Nand Yashoda was there. And Drona and Dhara, they take shelter of the body of Nand and Yashoda. So Shivji is saying here, Tam Eka Adya Purusho Advitiyas. There is no second person like Krishna. He is one piece, single. Turiya Swadrik. And Swadrik means Krishna only can actually fully understand himself. Swadrik. And Acharyas are describing in this way also that Swa can means those who belong to Krishna, his devotees. One who is seen by devotees but not seen by other people. Swadrik, only Swa, those are devotees, can see Krishna. And Hetur Ahetur Ishaha. Hetu means that he is the cause of everything. But who is his cause? Srila Prabhupada used to give an example, like you have father, your father have father, father's father, father's father, father's father, father's father, and last person who comes who have no father, that is Bhagavan. If we also have father, then father becomes Bhagavan. But Bhagavan means that there is no cause of him. So many people ask that, okay, everything comes from Krishna. Krishna came from where? And who is cause of Krishna? So if there is cause of Krishna, then how can he be Supreme Lord? He have no other cause. So he is cause of everything, Hetu, and Ahetu means he don't have any cause. When Gajendra was praying, he was speaking all the qualities of Lord. He was not speaking anybody's name. So he was speaking qualities. And many demigods, they came to see the match, see cricket match. Came to see the tamasha. What is going to happen with Gajendra? Who will win? Who will lose? So they used to come, and Gajendra used to speak some quality. So he said that one who is cause of everything, Akhil Karanaya, one who is cause everything, he comes and protect me. So Lord Brahma thought, maybe he is calling me because I created everybody, I am cause of everything. So he is saying Akhil Karanaya. So Brahma thought, okay, I will go and try to save Gajendra. Then he said, Nishkaranaya Adbhut Karanaya, one who have no other cause. Then he comes and protect me. Brahma said, I think he wants to die today. If he would have stopped, said that cause of, who is cause of everything, come and protect me, I would have protected him. But making me so great and then making me so tiny. I have father, I have a cause, but only the Supreme Lord is one person who have no other cause. All the demigods were thinking that the person whom Gajendra wants to call does not come so easily. And he is a fool, so he is calling. So here Shivji is saying, Hetur ahetu ishaha. He is hetu of everything and he have no hetu of himself. Apratiyase athapi yatha vikaram. And he is perceived. It's not that Supreme Lord is not perceived. He can be perceived. Athapi. Although all these things are there, still he can be perceived. And Sanatana Goswami Pad is writing that yatha vikaram swamaya sarvguna prasidha means swamaya. Swa means devotees of Lord. And Maya means illusory potency also, and Maya means Kripa also, mercy. By the mercy of devotees, yatha vikaram, according to their bhav. Vikar can means bhav also. So, swamaya yatha vikaram, by the mercy of devotees, according to their bhav, the Lord is pratiyase, the Lord is perceived. So, we require mercy of devotees. Only then we can perceive the Supreme Lord. So these things are explained in this verse very nicely by Lord Shiva. And Shiva is praying to Lord Krishna. Later on he will ask, when he is seeing that Krishna wants to kill Banasur now, he wants to protect Banasur. So Krishna, Lord Shiva is saying to Lord Krishna that don't kill Banasur. Why don't kill Banasur? Because he is my devotee. And you are very much inclined towards devotee of your devotee. But then Lord Shiva thought that I was fighting with Lord Krishna. How can I ask that he is my devotee, you forgive him? You spare him. So Lord Shiva says that spare him just like you do mercy to Prahlad and other devotees, you spare him. So Lord Shiva make Lord Krishna remember that Banasur is in the lineage of Prahlad Maharaj. And when Krishna remembered Prahlad Maharaj, now he can remember that Prahlad's son is Virochan, Virochan's son is Bali, and Bali's son is Banasur. So Lord Krishna said that I was actually not going to kill Banasur. I was just punishing him. See, Krishna protects so much the people who are related to his devotee. When the fight was going on, Krishna killed all the army of Banasur. Shivji was fighting with Krishna. Lord Shiva's army was fighting with Krishna. Banasur was fighting with Krishna. Banasur's army was fighting with Krishna. Krishna killed Banasur's army. But Krishna did not kill followers of Lord Shiva. Because they were devotees of Lord Shiva, Krishna did not kill them. And even Banasur, Krishna did not kill. Krishna only punished. Punished Banasur. And then he released Banasur. In this pastime, Shukdev Goswami is also describing that whoever hears this pastime, just like Lord Shiva defeated Lord Shiva and Banasur, whoever hears this pastime is never defeated by anybody, not even by the obstacles of bhakti, maybe internal or external. So much blessings Shukdev Goswami is giving through this pastime. So here we understand from this pastime that Lord Krishna is very, very merciful to his devotees. That is true. He is more merciful to the devotees of his devotee. And he is also merciful to anybody who is related to his devotee. So somehow or the other, even if we cannot become devotee of Krishna in this lifetime, we become, somehow or the other, we become some relation with devotee of Krishna, with some relationship with Prabhupada and other devotees, then also Lord Krishna will have to give us his mercy. We can understand from this pastime. Also today is appearance day of Sita Thakurani, concert of Sri Advaita Acharya. So we hear from Chaitanya Charitamrita that when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born, after his birth, we have, yes, okay. So here it's described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Advaita Acharya Bharya Jagat Pujitarya Nam Tara Sita Thakurani. The wife of Advaita Acharya, who is worshipable by everybody, her name is Sita Thakurani. Acharya Agya Paya Gela Upaharalaya. By taking permission of Acharya, by taking permission of Advaita Acharya, they used to live in Shantipur. They had three houses. Here 2 houses are described. Advaita Acharya had many houses. He was a very rich person. Although he was a Brahman, he was not a poor Brahman. He had one house in Shantipur and one house he had in Navadvip. Also he had a house in Jagannath Puri. When they used to come in Jagannath Puri for Rath Yatra, they used to invite Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for lunch prasadam. And they used to serve Chaitanya. So he had many houses. But for what? For the service of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. No other purpose for so many houses. Lord Brahma, in his Stuti in 10th canto, he says that I worship the Brajvasis because the householder Brajvasis are better than sannyasis. Why do you say like this? He says these householder Brajvasis, everything which they have in their household, their son, their butter, their home, their everything, they keep everything just to serve Krishna. And sannyasis, they have left everything. How will they serve Krishna? So Brahmaji says that they are better because everything they have in their house, why they have? For the service of Lord Krishna. Similarly, Advaita Acharya, whatever he had for what? To serve Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he have many houses, one in Shantipur, one in Navadvip. So in Shantipur, Sita Thakurani asked permission from Advaita Acharya, came to Navadvip, Gela Upaharalaya. And because she came for the birth ceremony of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so she brought many upahar, many gifts, badhai she had. Dekhite Balak Shirmani. When she came, saw the Balaka, what she brought is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Suvarnir Kadibauli Rajat Mudra Pashuli. She had some bangles, gold bangles with her for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Rajat Mudra and some gold coins. Pashuli, some ornament for feet. And Suvarna Angat Kankana. Some more, some are worn hair. What are they saying? Yes? Armlets, okay. And some are bangles. So everything is described separately. So she brought that also. Ardha Bahute Divya for both the arms. And Shang Rajat Malagva Swarn Mudrar Nana Hargana. And she brought many necklaces also. Vyagra Nakra Hemajadi. And tiger nails. When we go for Govardhan Parikma, they sells Kale Ghore Naal Ki Anguti se. They sell something of black horses. So these things are there for some auspicious things are there, and some things are there to remove some evil impressions. So Sita Thakurani also brought something, Vyagra Nakhara Hemajadi. So the nails of tiger and that ring, and they had with gold. A Kati Patra Sutradhari. And some saris and other things for Sachi Mata. Chitravarna Patasadi, Bhuni Photo Patapadi, Swarna Rupe, Mudra Bahudhan. And many, Lakshmi also she wore. Durva Dhanye Gorochana. Durva means fresh grass. This is for auspiciousness. Dhanya yani dhan is fresh paddy. Dhan she bought. When we give somebody dhan for some auspicious ceremony, it's an indication that the person will become rich day by day. Dhan shows richness. Gorochan, Haridra, Kumkum, Chandan, all these things. Mangal Dravya Patra Bhariya. She filled so many baskets and brought some Mangal things. Vastra Gupta Dola Chadi. And Prabhupada writes in the purport that previously the Bengali Matas, whenever they would go somewhere outside, at least for the respectable families, they won't go on barefoot. They will go on palki, some. So was Dola Chadi. In Dola, in Palki, she went and she gave all these things. When she went there and saw Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Dekhiya Balak Tham, Sakshat Gokulakan. When she saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, she could realize that he is Krishna himself. Sakshat Gokula Kana. Kana means Kana, Krishna. वर्ण मात्र देखी विपरीत, but his color is, although he is Krishna, but his color is golden. Sarvang Sunirman Suvarn Pratima Bhan. She saw very well built, and Balakir Divya Jyoti Dekhi Paila Bahu Priti. And there was so much effulgence coming from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's body, and Vatsaler Dravela Hidaya. And Sita Thakurani was always filled with Vatsalya Prem for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Sita Thakurani only, he gave Chaitanya Mahaprabhu the name Nimai. Because Sachi Mata gave birth to 8 daughters before, and all of them died. So now when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was to be named, so Sita Thakurani gave him a name Nimai, because the ghostly people, they have fear from neem tree. And if somebody is named after neem tree, Nimai, so no Dakini, Shakini, these Pushmanda, they will come and do any harm to this boy. So she gave the name Nimai. There was very intimate relationship with Advaita Acharya Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and similarly Sita Thakurani also. There is one past time that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Gaya and took initiation from Ishwar Puripad and came back to Navadvip, the first person who worshipped Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he started his Sankirtan in Shivasangan. The first person who worshipped the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was Advaita Acharya and Sita Thakurani. So after his first initiation from Ishwar Puri, the first person to worship Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Advaita Acharya and Sita Thakurani. And after the sannyas ceremony of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas and he went for Vrindavan. But Nityananda Prabhu diverted him to Shantipur. He was searching for Yamuna, and Nityananda Prabhu cheated him, told Ganga as Yamuna. Some boys, they told, oh, this is Yamuna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dived, oh, Yamuna. And later on when he saw big beard Advaita Acharya, where have you come? Why have you come here to Vrindavan? Oh, this is here, Ganga That. Oh, Nityananda Prabhu have cheated me. Nityananda said, no. After Prayagraj, here Ganga and here Yamuna. Both go together. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was externally angry, but he was happy. And then Advaita Acharya took him to Shantipur. So 4 days Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was fasting. He did not eat anything. And now after his sannyas initiation also, the first person to feed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was Sita Thakurani. So Sita Thakurani and Advaita Acharya, they served Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this way. Sita Thakurani used to cook so many items. Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's described. Even when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was living in Jagannath Puri, they used to come for the Chaturmas Rath Yatra festival. And so many times there was invitation from Advaita Acharya, and Sita Thakurani would cook such nice preparation that it is described that whatever Sita Thakurani cooks, prepares, whoever eats that preparation, he will immediately start chanting and dancing. No instructions is needed. Nobody have to tell. You sing kirtan, you dance. Whoever will eat immediately will sing. Whoever will eat, he will immediately dance. Actually, this cooking is such an important service. And one more passage I will relate, that Sita Thakurani, it is described by in one book named by Nityananda Das, this I have written, Prem Vilas from Nityananda Das. He have written that Sita Thakurani, she had a disciple also, a female disciple. Her name was Jangali, because she was very bold, did not fear anybody. She used to live in jungles, so her name was Jangali. So once upon a time, there was a king. He was in jungle, and he saw Jangali, very, very beautiful girl. So he wanted to rape her. So as soon as he approached Jangali, she turned into a man. So that king asked Jangali, "You are a man or a woman?" So she replied, "For man, I am a man. For woman, I am a woman. Actually, I am never a man." So because I am a Shakti of Krishna, in the Manjari Bhav she was speaking. So the king was very astonished. How is this possible? I saw a woman, I wanted to rape her, I came to her, she became a man. So now he sent some women to see her. So check her, check him, check her, whatever him or she is. So a woman came and saw she's female, and then a man came and saw she's a man. So Sita Thakurani was one of the many prominent Vaishnavis, like we see about Janva Mata. Similarly, Sita Thakurani also had disciples. She also had disciple, Jangali. And also the son of Nityananda Prabhu, Veerbhadra, once he came to Sita Thakurani to take initiation. He is son of Vasundhara and Nityananda. So he had a conception that Janva Mata is my stepmother. Why should I take initiation from him? So he came to Advaitacharya's wife Sita Thakurani, that you give me initiation. But Sita Thakurani saw that what is his mood? That because she is my stepmother, I will not take initiation from Janva Mata. So Sita Thakurani sent him to Janva Mata. So Veerbhadra Prabhu and his wife, they both after first they came to Sita Thakurani. Later on they take initiation from Janva Mata. So we can pray to Sita Thakurani, as we heard from today's lecture, that we need mercy of devotees. And Krishna is very, very merciful to somebody who is somehow or the other related to his devotees. So if Sita Thakurani gives her mercy to us, then it is very easy to attain mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. I just tried to speak something for our any comment or questions and something for correction. Hand mic.
Speaking about Sita Thakurani giving mercy and blessings, and you were mentioning that the devotee needs the blessings and mercy. So is it the blessings are always the same, but is it the recipient that receives them and how he receives them? How does that giving of blessings work?
Yes, Raji, you are asking a question. It's like obviously the recipients also have to be the same. Sometimes we have a stitching machine. We have all seen stitching machine. It have a thread on the needle up, and there is a thread in the down also. There is a thread up and there is a thread down. If the thread which is upward is very nice, it is there, but below the thread is missing, we will not get any stitch. In a similar way, if devotee's mercy is there, but Indra Prabhu used to give example, we are keeping an umbrella. So rain is there, but we are keeping an umbrella. So there is so much rain. Whoever is outside, he is getting wet. And we are sitting inside, we are not getting wet because we are keeping this umbrella. So if we are keeping the umbrella of our false ego and other things, so we don't get the mercy. So obviously the recipient also have to be ready to receive the mercy. And then if they get mercy, then like Banasur, but he was not a recipient of mercy. But somehow or the other he was related to the devotee. So he got the mercy. So even if we are not a very good recipient, somehow or the other we are related to devotees, then Lord have to give mercy. That is strategy. Okay, thank you very much. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताई गौर हरि प्रेमानंद।